figured I would take you guys on a little bit of a trip down National Road in the Indianapolis area. As soon as we turn the corner here, we're going to be on Meridian, and directly in front of us is the Soldiers and Sailors Monument, which was erected, as you might imagine, to honor the soldiers and sailors from Indiana that have passed in various wars. It's a beautiful monument, and during Christmas they string lights from the top of it and turn it into kind of a big Christmas tree. I hear sirens somewhere, but excuse me. Anyway, I hope you can see it. It'll come more into view. The sun is quite bright. Not that I'm complaining at all. I love the sun. But I think it's kind of making it difficult to see the monument. But you'll see it when we get up here a little bit further. Excuse me. Coming into downtown Indianapolis. Excuse me. Alright, you should be seeing it now. There we go. It's the tall tower in front of us where the statue, I believe it's the Statue of Victory, is at the top of it. And actually in the base of it there is a museum and a stairway that goes all the way up to, well, it's hard to see it, but as we get closer, just underneath the statue at the top there is a glassed-in observation deck, so you can climb up there and look at the city. And back when it was built in the mid to late, well, I think it was built in 1865 or so, these big buildings were not around, so the view from up there was a lot more spectacular. Now you kind of would just look into one of the floors of the many buildings that surround it, but it's still pretty neat to see. Never been up it, but or up in it. But this is the base, called Monument Circle, for obvious reasons. At night they have horse-drawn carriages and concerts and events, and at Christmas time it's all sort of lit up and decorated. They do have a fountain at the bottom of it. However, due to the fact that it's winter, they do not have the fountain running. It's also kind of a staging spot for various gatherings, protests, celebrations. Ooh, God, these little scooters. Ugh. Ah, dude. Sheesh, I almost squished that one guy on the scooter. Didn't mean to, but he kind of went just right in front of me. Oh. Do. Waiting for this guy to back up here and hopefully avoid squishing people on scooters or pedestrians, because they're certainly not watching where they're going. Okay, but I figured his job was difficult enough without me making it harder, so figured I'd take a moment and give him space to do his thing. So the beautiful older buildings on the right here were some of the original buildings of downtown. And actually, I can't turn the camera right now, but to the far right is Indianapolis's major shopping mall, and okay, yeah, make a turn in front of me on a green, sure. It actually uses the facades of the older buildings, and so it looks just like a whole bunch of old downtown buildings, but you go inside and it's all one huge mall. And it is about 3:45, so people are starting to kind of get out of class, and the college students, and be starting to be time for getting off work downtown. Hard Rock Cafe here on my left. We'll see that when we go by. We'll also go by the field house where the Indianapolis Pacers play. Lucas Oil Stadium where the Colts play is down a little further, so we won't be seeing that. Over to the right. Nope, Indianapolis is on Eastern time. We didn't used to change time. We didn't used to do daylight savings time. That changed about 12 years ago. Well, maybe 13 years ago, sometime around there. And we decided that we wanted to be closer to the New York time zone, I guess, and Philadelphia and all that. Now, some parts of the state closer to Chicago are in Central, but they're kind of, it's like county by county, which honestly I think is a little silly, but whatever. It is what it is. So now we're kind of driving out of the city a little bit. There is a replica of the Indianapolis 500 trophy that I'll show you guys. Hopefully we get a stoplight. Sorry, it's kind of hard to read the chat. For some reason, my chat doesn't stay on the screen. It stays on for like 2 or 3 seconds when you submit it, and then it disappears. Between that and driving and the sun, it's a little hard to read the chat, so I'll read it as I can, but if I miss yours, it's not intentional. I'm not trying to ignore anybody. I just can't read it while I'm driving. So this is kind of the outskirts of Indianapolis. We're still technically within the city boundaries. This part always makes me feel a little nervous. I feel like I'm on the wrong side of the road. But at the same time, it's kind of cool to be on this side. Alrighty, up ahead. And I'm going to try to slow down, but on the left is the replica trophy. And it's actually for Route 40, which is what we're on right now, technically. Route 40 is the main road that goes straight through Indianapolis. As I've mentioned before, it goes from, I lost the name, Maryland, I'll think of it in a minute, to Vandalia, Illinois. It was supposed to go all the way through. It was supposed to basically be Route 66. But funding that didn't receive, they weren't able to maintain the funding for it. It was the first federally sanctioned roadway. The government did it kind of out of a way to show the states that the government wanted solidarity and wanted everybody to kind of get along. So they created this major trade route, and it's still used for trade today. We will probably see some semis, although most of it is trade by train, but that runs right along the side of Route 40. This is part of town that's been quite hard hit with job loss and drug addiction, as most larger cities have these little sections, unfortunately. But after we get out of this little section, we will be coming up fairly soon to one of my favorite parts of Indianapolis, which is the little city of Irvington. We drive around Irvington a little bit. It's beautiful. Your lane, bud. Thank you. Oh, well, okay, that's why you were coming over. Gotta wait till you're past me, though, first. I don't share my lanes well. You gotta either be in front or behind me, not next to me. The site over here on the right is Willard Park, and that's named after the president of the Indiana Deaf School. This used to be where the Indiana Deaf School was located, originally in the, I think, mid to late 1800s. They ended up getting a much larger campus up by Butler University in that area, in northern part of Indianapolis. So when they leveled it, they created a park, which is nice. Needs some green space. Excuse me. This part isn't a whole heck of a lot of interesting information, but there is a sad and interesting story coming up in a little bit of actually a death by shooting in a Popeye's chicken restaurant. I was not here when it happened, but I moved here shortly after to the state, and I guess from what I've heard, and this may be rumors, I'm not trying to start anything, but it may, oh, sorry, bus. It was left a crime scene or was not dealt with by the company for so long that they just sort of called it a loss, and actually everything is still in it. Well, I don't know about everything, but like tables and chairs and baby high chairs and napkin dispensers, they're pretty much all in there still. Looks like it could reopen at any point in time, but of course that's obviously not going to happen. You know what? We might have already passed it. Shoot. I think we did. Huh. Sorry, we got down on US 40 further down than I'm used to getting onto it. So it's throwing a little bit off there. But anyway. It's not really a positive thing to be dwelling on anyway, so it's probably good that we don't have that to dwell on. Sorry about my sniffles. Allergies are getting the best of me right now. It is really windy. So, oh, you know what? That is where it used, yeah, that is where Popeyes was. Okay. On the right-hand side there, and looks like they've torn it down and are actually going to do something with the site. Good. It was sad and very creepy to go by there with everything still in place and intact. Well, like I said, probably not everything, but many things. Excuse me. Grab a drink. And I am also going to take this time to go through Boston Market. So, sorry, you need to humor me a little bit or leave and come back, whichever way you want to. But this is the closest Long John Silver's, which is about 2 hours, well, hour and a half, hour 45 minutes away. So I am gonna go because I love not Long John Silver's, Boston Market. Sorry, I don't know why I keep saying Long John Silver's. I really like Boston Market. So like I said, it's the closest one for like 2 hours. So when I'm down here, I enjoy stopping by and getting some dinner. Because by the time I get home, it'll be that time to eat dinner. Everybody's having a nice day, and Tuesday is better than a Monday, or if your Monday was good, I hope your Tuesday is just as good. I know that Bill and Lori from Bill's Odds and Ends are in Magic Kingdom today, or they were earlier. They're at Disney World, and they're enjoying that, which is awesome. And ironically enough, I have another couple of friends who are in the Magic Kingdom as well, and they did the Keys to the Kingdom tour this morning, which I'm really jealous of, but I'm very happy for them. That is on my bucket list of Disney things to do. I would love to do Keys of the Kingdom, or what's the other one? Walt's Footsteps, Walking with Walt, or something like that. love to do either one of those. Alrighty, we're coming into the town of Irvington. And hopefully, oh goodness, there's somebody riding a scooter across the green light. Hopefully I will be able to keep you guys in terms of internet. Oh, okay, person. This is the town of Irvington, and Irvington is amazingly beautiful, especially this time of year, although it's pretty anytime, but fall is when it really shines. They do huge Halloween stuff. A lot of it's taken down now because it's November and it's actually pretty darn windy, so they've taken a lot of it down. But I'm sure we'll see some remnants. There's some pumpkins and some things hanging in the trees. Oh, you're a race car person? Well, one of these days we'll go over to Speedway. And I've never been over there, but we can go and we can both see it for the first time. I'm going to take you guys by the first serial killer, the home of the first serial killer in the country, Mr. H.H. Holmes, or Dr. H.H. Holmes. And it is right up here on the right-hand side, the little kind of gray tan house with the white picket fence, the corner of Bolton and Julian. It's where he lived, and actually where he killed a young boy, which is not something I really want to get into, but it did occur, and that was back before any of this was houses. This was all flat fields and orchards. And over to the left is now a restaurant, but it used to be a drugstore, and it was one of the first places that John Dillinger ever robbed. He was from the area, from Indianapolis, and the one thing that folks remembered about him was he was able to clear the pharmacy counter with one leap. It was quite a high counter, and so it was kind of remarkable, I guess. Make sure no kids are walking around. Tough intersection. Okay. Alrighty, this is Arlington Avenue, which is the other border of Irvington, so after we cross this, sorry, After we cross this, we're going to be leaving the Irvington area. There are some other really pretty places down here, but we'll do a whole Irvington Travels with Tracy session sometime. I'm down here fairly often, so... Oh my goodness, excuse me. Some fairly blustery winds. It's a beautiful day, but pretty windy, which is not helping my allergies. Dairy Queen. Never knew what a Dairy Queen was until I moved here. Excuse me. My goodness, sorry. Sorry, it's hard to read the chat, so I can see that it popped up, but it only stays for a couple seconds. And I'm driving, so I can't really see the chat very well. I'm sorry. So if it was a question, if somebody else could maybe help answer it. If it's not, hello, whoever posted that, and I will go back and check it. It's just, it's tough when you're doing this on your own. I don't know how in the world Chris and all the other, Josh and Jenna and all the other single streamers do it. Especially when you're driving. I really, you guys mean a lot to me, but I really don't want to take my eyes off the road. Because that's kind of a safety thing. I don't want to get hurt or hurt anybody else. So, while your messages do mean a lot, and I appreciate you guys. Let's see, I'm gonna stoplight. Nope, dang it, it went away before I could see it. I'm sorry. I need to figure out how to... If anybody knows how to get messages to stay on, I don't know. I have a GS8, so I don't know if it's an Android thing or if it's a setting on YouTube that I don't have turned on, or I do have turned on that I need to not have turned on. I don't know, but it's really kind of frustrating that it stays up there for literally like 3 seconds and then it fades. So, I don't know. When I pull into Boston Market, I do see a chat button. Well, it looks like a chat bubble to me. I might try tapping that and seeing if stuff stays on the screen longer. Because I would love to be able to chat. Oh, I see some emojis. Oh, hope everyone's having a good day. Hope the weather is nice wherever you are. Oh my goodness, excuse me. My nose. Allergies are kicking my tail. Or I guess kicking my sinuses. Goodness. I apologize for all the sniffles. That's a pretty fun Halloween place back there. They have a lot of good Halloween props, and they have one of the scare houses, haunted houses. I'm not so into the haunted houses. I don't mind the spooky. I mean, obviously, I'm a paranormal investigator, but I don't like the jump out at me with chainsaws. That's not my thing. I am not one of the manufactured haunted house people. I'd prefer to sit in a quiet room and have a conversation with whatever spirits are there, as opposed to being chased with a fake axe or whatever. Wow, sorry, my phone's kind of going bonkers. We are going to make a pit stop. Come on over, van. Giving you as much room as I can, dude. Over or up here at Boston Market. Boston Market. And I am gonna check out the little chat bubble button, and if you guys will, oh, I missed the driveway. I was so interested in what everybody else was turning and going and all that. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go through the drive-through, but I'm going to try this chat button thing first. And at least get a chance to say hello to everybody. Okay, sorry for the movement here. Aha! Yay! That is it. Okay. Hey, Red! Ah, Caroline, okay. Ah. Alrighty, well. Yay, I think that is keeping the chat up. Yay! Good, 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 good. Nope, it just went away. Gosh darn it. Thanks, Red. Oh, okay. Darn it, how do I get it to... Oh. Okay, maybe top chat, although I want to see all the chat. Does top chat stay? Nope. Dang. That is really weird. I wonder why my chat won't stay on or how I can fix it. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and go through the drive-thru. Sorry for dragging you guys through the drive-thru with me, but as I mentioned before, Boston Market is about 45 minutes, 2 hours away, so whenever I'm down here, I try to come by and get it, because I don't get it very often. Well, I'm down here fairly often, but try to get it when I can.
Hello, order when you're ready.
Alrighty, thank you. What? Like, oh, there, okay. Sorry, I was trying, this is in the way. Do you have like a 2-piece meal?
We have a quarter dark. That's a leg and thigh.
A leg and thigh? Okay. Yeah, can I get that?
Yeah, a quarter dark. And what's going to be your two sides?
Can I get sweet corn and mac and cheese, please?
Okay, anything else for you today?
No, thank you.
Go ahead and pull her up for me, please.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay. Oof. Okay, after looking into the sun, this is really dark. Hamburger and a milkshake. Well, they don't have burgers and milkshakes here. However, I don't know if I can do this or not. Yep, I can. There is a Five Guys right across the street. So... Oh, Top Chat does see y'all? Ah. Shoot, now I can't get it to go. There we go. Okay.
It's going to say 16.
Alright. Uh-huh. Thank you. Wonderful. Thanks.
And you have a great day.
You too. Alrighty. I am at Boston Market. I don't get to eat here super often. I am in the Indianapolis area quite often, but I don't always get a chance to go here, but I try to if it's around dinner time or lunch. I should have just gotten a kid's meal, but it's okay. Alrighty, back on the road. On the road again. I will spare everybody, including myself, my singing voice. I am not a singer, but I am appreciative of those who can. Now, I probably won't do a whole heck of a lot of travels with Tracy during the holidays. And if I do, I will mute it, because one of my favorite things to do is to sing Christmas carols. And I kind of just go for it. So I don't want to subject anybody to that, except there are times when I bring my friend um, down to a little town called Metamora. And actually, I will definitely bring you guys down there. That place is fun. Bring you down there and we can do a little exploring down in Metamora. It's an old canal town when they had canals that were kind of like the freeways before the railroads. And they used to ship things from the Great Lakes and Chicago down to Cincinnati using this canal, or using the canal system. And so they've restored it, and some of this stuff is authentic, some of it has been built to mimic or to blend in with the authentic buildings. But Metamora at Christmas is super cute. And I can show you guys, or I can introduce you guys to my friend Brian, who sings incredibly well. And he goes down there every holiday season and sings Christmas carols and sells his CDs and stuff. So I usually try to go down a couple times a year, maybe not every weekend, but a couple times. Just because I love Christmas carols and I love hearing him sing them, and I just really like the atmosphere down there. And sometimes his wife doesn't necessarily feel like going, and I'm friends, actually I work with his wife, so he doesn't really want to drive down there on his own or by himself, so I go with him. And sometimes he and his wife go and I meet them down there, just because I really like that area. It's very quaint. They have a lot of little homemade there are shops with little homemade trinkets and gifts. A lot of woodworking and leatherworking places down there. They have an active flour and corn mill that you can buy flour and corn that is milled on site. You can do a canal boat ride over a water bridge, similar to the one in Disney, but this is one from the 1800s. It's pretty cool. So yeah, I'll definitely bring you guys down there sometime. It'll definitely be after Thanksgiving. I'm not sure when, but excuse me. We'll go down there and see all the lights and listen to the Christmas carols and have hot chocolate and just make a whole thing of it. Alrighty, that last little town we just passed through was the town of Cumberland. And it was kind of the most recent suburb, if you will, although it's connected to Indianapolis. Most recently created one. I don't really have a date for it. I think it was in the 50s, 60s. I may be totally off on that. Whoa, stay in your lane up there, bud. I was gonna try to pass this guy, but I don't know if he wants to get over or if he just got distracted for a minute and crossed over the line. Okay, it looks like he's gonna stay there. So, allergy season. As you can see, there's all the dead cornfield on the left and a plowed cornfield on the right. This is kind of the not very much to talk about section. Oddly enough, there's a lot of people going towards Indianapolis this time of day. Wouldn't think there would be. There normally isn't. I don't know if something's going on tonight, sports-wise. No? They don't have football on Tuesdays. I don't know. There's something that people are going to, and very few people work outside of the city and live in the city. So most people work in the city and live outside of it. Ooh. They have gas for $2.48. That's the lowest I've seen it. Yay! Except I don't need it. But, oh well. Sorry, I wish I could read more of the chat, but chat amongst yourselves, and I will try to catch up at stoplights. Well, I need to figure out a way to get my chat to stay on the screen, because then I have a little bit more of a chance to read it if it doesn't disappear in 3 seconds. Up on the town of Greenfield, and Greenfield is the home of poet and author James Whitcomb Riley. Hold on a sec, I gotta get out of this way of this big old truck, who I apparently angered by moving over because he was going like 80. Jeez, dude. Yeah. Good luck with that, buddy. So, not gonna have very far to go up there, Mr. Black Truck. Or Ms. Black Truck. He or she gets to wherever he or she is going safely, and if not, I hope that the only individual that they harm is themselves. Person's license plate says watermelon. Okay. Interesting choice of license plates. Cemetery off to the side. Oh, I forgot, the town of Philadelphia is first. This is the town of Philadelphia, Indiana. Not even close to as exciting as Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, but you know, we can't all be Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. jolly. No, I think the question was, have I ever heard Jolly sing? Oh, she's a pro. Oh, wow. No, I haven't. I'd like to. I love listening to people with good voices because that's not a trait I have. I have a lot of really good qualities, but I know my limits, and singing is definitely one of them. Although, like I said, I reserve the right to belt out Christmas carols in my car, but I will not, or will try not, to subject you guys to that horrific experience. Alrighty, now we're coming into the town of Greenfield, where poet and author James Whitcomb Riley is from. He wrote, excuse me, oh my goodness, sorry. He wrote several poems, as well as the basics, the stories of Little Orphan Annie. And I'm sure I'm repeating myself, but Little Orphan Annie was a real person. She was an orphan girl that the Riley family, James Riley's parents, took in to help with the children. And that was fairly common in those days. They would kind of have what are called orphan trains, and they would families would take in orphans to help with housework or farm work or family work, and sort of that would give the young person, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, oh goodness, would give the young person a home, place to live, and would give the family or the individual an extra set of hands for whatever was needed. The young lady's name actually was Allie, or Allison, and she would tell the Riley kids various stories. Honestly, they were a little... Okay. Hello. I need to switch things around again. Hang on just a minute. Oh, you can see my messy front seat. Sorry. I have been doing a lot in my car recently, so yeah, kind of have a messy front seat. Oh, a red light. Yay. Okay. Flip camera. There we go. Okay. Now we're back ready to go. Escape. Escape what? My car is an escape? Or it is a Ford Escape? Ooh, Dairy Queen has a pumpkin pie blizzard. That sounds kind of good. But I am on my way home, so I don't need a pumpkin pie blizzard. Ford Escape. Yep, that's me. My Ford Escape. The Riley house is actually coming up here on the left. It's got the white horizontal fence to it in front of it. And the kids or animals or figures, whatever, looking over a fence. Couldn't really quite tell what that was. I love It's Courthouse Square. It so reminds me of Hill Valley. Complete with the clock tower. There it is, on the kind of the right-hand side of the screen. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a buffalo, or a bison, sorry, to the right, just there. And each county received a bison, and it lives in their county seat, the city of the county seat. And it was for our, excuse me, pardon me, it was for our bicentennial. Leave it to Indiana. Oh, did you say you did hear from Roger? Or have you heard from Roger? So I messaged him yesterday just to check in and see how he was doing and let him know I was thinking about him and his dad. It's been a little while. I'm kind of worried. Not trying to be a creepy stalker. I just, it's been over a month since anybody's really heard from him, and he had been coming quite regularly, and just wanted to hear if he's all right. Excuse me. What did hear? No, I haven't. I'm worried. Have to see if Chris or Justin have heard from him. Just to make sure that he's okay, or to find out if he's not, if there's anything I can do to help him or his dad. I know he had his eye surgery. I think that went all right. Haven't spoken to him really since shortly after I got back from my trip in mid-September. So I certainly hope things are going all right for him and his family. Giggle when I leave the town of Greenfield. A little bit further down, you start getting into the fields and stuff. But real quickly to the right, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but it's a canine dog training course. But yeah, further out from Greenfield, pretty much just all cornfields. And so in the fall, or the spring and summer rather, it kind of looks like the opening to that show in the middle, which is supposed to take place in Indiana. There are many roads that actually look exactly like that in and around this part of the state. also someday take you guys to the city of Greensburg. You know what? I have to go out there for work, possibly in a few weeks. Might take you guys on that trip. They have a tree that somehow ended up growing up through the courthouse tower, and it now sticks out the top. Yep, it is flat. Yep. We're farther away from the ocean than Oklahoma and, well, not really farther than Nebraska, but sort of on the same parallel as Nebraska. So we don't have all of the moisture, but we do have storms that if we get enough moisture, we do have tornadoes. It is flat enough for that. And it's really kind of neat in the dark at night. This is really kind of dark, and you can see cities from miles away from them because it's so flat and there's just nothing out here to produce light. So the cities kind of glow on the horizon, so it's kind of neat. I was driving back one day from Indianapolis one evening shortly after I had moved here in April, and well, I guess it was a few months after I moved here because it was harvest time, and being from California, I really didn't know what harvest time meant. Hope I didn't catch that one, sorry. Didn't catch that chat. But out in one of these fields, I saw my very first farm machinery with lights, and I swear to God, I thought it was a UFO. It was one of the ones with the, I guess it was I really don't know what kind of farm implement it was because it was in the dark, but it had like long outstretched arms, if you will, or pipes. I don't know if they were doing fertilizing or I don't know, but the arms had lights on them, and so it looked like 4 lights horizontally and then 2 lights slightly above it for the actual cab, and then another 4 lights on the other side, and I couldn't figure out it looked like some spacecraft or something. It scared the bejeebers out of me. And I had seen farm equipment in the daytime, but I guess I never considered them to have lights. I don't know why I didn't think that they would have lights, but I didn't. And so I was quite surprised the next day when I told my friend about this strange, oh my goodness, excuse me, this strange sighting that I had. She said, oh, it's a disker or sprayer or whatever the heck it was, just at night. And I was like, you mean they have lights? She said, well, of course they have lights. I think they do things in the dark. And I honestly had never considered how they did farming in the dark. I guess I just thought they didn't do it, which is silly, but I knew very, very little about farming when I moved here. I knew quite a bit about orchards. I moved here from the Central Valley of California and lived just down the street from one of the Blue Diamond almond orchards, and lived a few hours, or about 40, 50 miles north of the Sun-Made Raisin grapevines vineyard, but they don't harvest those things at night. to the best of my knowledge. And if they do, they certainly don't I know they don't harvest them the same way. For the trees, the nuts from the trees, they actually strap a sort of a belt-looking thing and turn it on, and it shakes, kind of like those old straps from the 30s and 40s that women would kind of put around their buns and hope that it would shake off the fat. It looked very much like those, and it was very loud. And they just kind of shake the nuts off the trees. And that's harvesting almonds. And I mean, peaches and raisins they do by hand, so those are the main things. And avocados, those are the main things that I had seen harvested. I had never seen cornfields and soybeans harvested before. So that was a new experience for me, especially them being harvested at night. We're coming up on the cute little town of Knightstown. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Hoosiers, but it was filmed in Knightstown. And actually, I can take you by the gym that played the part of Hickory Jim in the movie. You live in Knightstown? Huh. Well, hi. I'm just about to you. Well, then I guess you won't be quite as excited in seeing the sights and sounds of Knightstown. But one thing I would like to find over here, and maybe you can help me, is the old soldiers and sailors home, children's home. I know that it's now the Coast Guard, the National Guard Academy, the Challenge Academy, but I tried to find it going up that road and following the signs, but I guess maybe it's too far off the road for me to see. I don't know. I wasn't really able to find it. And I would love to go take a look at that from a historical point of view. I'm a history nerd. Oh, okay. Cool. Oh, there's your little historic Knightstown sign. Well, we're coming into your neck of the woods here. Is it CG or OG production? Sorry, my chat disappears, so it's hard for me to read it while I'm driving and with the sun. So I can sort of catch glimpses, but it's hard for me to read like long things, or if I kind of don't have an idea of what I'm looking at. Wow, $2.73. Your gas is expensive here. CG. Okay. Okay, well, we might go try the Challenge Academy another time, but we will go by the Hoosier Gym. You see, I took 140 all the way over to Carthage, and I never saw the Challenge Academy. But anyway, thanks, Red, for keeping that up there. I'm gonna have to ask Chris or someone to let me know how to keep that up, because it's really frustrating. Oh. Ah, that's where Los Charos is. I've heard about that place. Good things. Oh, you guys have pretty trees down here too. Yay. I love all the fall colors. Especially in the wind with all the leaves falling. This is the Hickory Gym, or what played the role of the Hickory Gym in the movie. It's now a senior citizens residence, which is awesome. I love that they repurposed it. I don't know if you can see in the windows or not, but they have beautiful staircases in there. That part's a little bit newer, but it was the old high school, and we passed the new high school coming into town. This building was built in the early 1930s. The story of Hoosiers was true about a little town in Indiana named Milan, which is actually not really very close to here at all. Well, I mean, I guess if you think of like the whole state, it's close, but not super close. So that was the Hoosier Gym. And okay. Thanks, CG. I will have to look into that. I appreciate the address on that. I used to work at one of the Indiana University campuses, and one of my students actually was from there, and so her health record stated that she was from Soldiers and Sailors Children's Home, and ever since then I've been intrigued by it, because in California we don't have anything like that, or at least we don't still have anything like that. I don't know if we ever did. But Indiana has some amazing stuff in honor of their veterans and their families, which I love. I think it's wonderful. And of course, folks here have been in just about every war that this country has ever had. Well, actually, they have been in every war that this country has ever had. We have folks who were in the Revolutionary War, and of course big time participation in the Civil War. Maybe that's another thing we'll do is we will go along the, well, not all of it, but follow along some of the Lincoln funeral train route. That would be kind of fun too. Or I guess maybe my version of fun. I don't know if it's your version of fun. But if and when we do that, I will put that in the title. So if you're not so inclined or interested, then you don't need to waste time with watching it. The sun is in a really bad position over here. It'll be better once we turn. So you're kind of almost by Ogden then, or Ogden, the road that goes to Ogden then, huh? That's another really interesting little town that kind of seemed to have disappeared. I guess, no, am I correct that they dammed up a river or waterway? And that's what kind of ruined Ogden? Or am I confusing that with something else? Kind of wary of deer in this section. There's the road to Ogden. I went down that road once and it just kind of looped around back to National Road, so I don't know if I missed a turn or if the homes that I saw were all the remnants of Ogden or what, but I have to go back through there again sometime. Maybe do it a little slower. So I did it on one of my trips to Indianapolis, so I was kind of on a mission to get to Indianapolis when I went through it. Oh, Old National Road Trail. I'm a part of the National Road Association, which actually kind of makes me laugh when I get mail because I don't mean to get political or anything, but I'm not a gun person. And so when I get things in the mail from the NRA, which is National Road Association, and National Rifle Association, but my mail from the NRA is the National Road Association. It throws me off every time because they're like, renew your membership in the NRA. It's like, what? I'm like, oh, okay, National Road, got it. That, yes. And like I said, I don't want to get political. Everybody has their own thing, and I respect that, but I never really thought I would be getting something from the NRA. Alrighty, Dunreath. Not a whole lot to Dunreath. Really neat little cemetery though. Don't really have time to kind of go through all of it, but really interesting cemetery with many older grave sites and some beautiful epitaphs. Makes me sound really morbid, but I love seeing the way that cities and towns take care of and mourn those who have passed. I think that for me, it's not a scary thing, it's a comforting thing. And oftentimes I will go to small town cemeteries with a few dozen roses and lay some flowers out of respect at the different grave sites. Speaking of cemeteries, Newcastle has one of the largest I have seen in the area. It spans for an eternity, what seems an eternity, on both sides of the state highway that go through it. Beautiful sections up there too, but they're very well remembered and very well adorned with flowers and a accoutrement that I don't necessarily feel like I need to support them per se. That was one of the other things when I first moved here from California. I was driving past a little cemetery on the eastern part of the state. There were lights, and it startled me because I was like, what am I seeing? Why are there things glowing out there? And apparently here people can leave solar powered lights and wind chimes and windmills, or not windmills, pinwheels, and all kinds of beautiful little mementos on their loved ones' burial plots. I am heading east, CG, towards Richmond. And out in California, for most of the cemeteries that I've been to, out there, you're allowed to leave flowers. And at certain holidays, you can leave like an easel with some flowers on it or something. But they're there for like a week. Well, maybe a little bit longer than the holidays. And then they're cleaned off because they have to mow. So you don't leave like wind chimes, and some people have these amazing memorial benches and stuff. And I just think that's amazing. I love that. I love the idea of setting up a little area for your loved one, a place that you can come and a place that you feel that they would enjoy. So, sorry, I'm not quite sure why I got off rambling on, the Dunrath Cemetery, that's what it was. Coming up to the little town of Louisville, sorry. I always want to call it Lewisburg. I think they should just change it. But this is the town of Louisville. And one of the main things in this town is still is, the opera house that was owned by the Geyer family. And they used to have Wild West shows come through, like Wild Bill Hickok, and of course Annie Oakley came through. She actually was born and raised just on the other side of the state line in Ohio, in Greenville. That's another place. I'm going to start writing these down, and we can have various adventures. But Greenville, Ohio is where Annie Oakley was born and raised, and so this was pretty much in her backyard. There's the Opera House to the left. It's got the green kind of pointy gable on top. So they would have various Wild West tours come through here. They also had a saloon on the corner, or I don't know if a saloon, a bar, I guess is the better way to put it. or oh, well, tavern-ish place. I'm not really sure if they served food or just, I don't know that much about it. Yep. Yep, yeehaw! I've actually been to Annie Oakley's resting place and where her family is and stuff. We'll take you guys. She was kind of I don't want to say hero because she wasn't really somebody I wanted to emulate, but she was definitely maybe a role model-ish. Although that's also somebody you emulate. She was just an interest of mine because she was one of the early, strong, powerful women that kind of broke into the man's world of Western shoot-'em-up gun shows. And she was really good at it and taken it seriously. Yeah, genuine, yep. And she had a really, really rough life, which a lot of folks at that time did. I believe it was her mother that died very young, when her mother was young and when she was young. So she kind of had to make a living. Alrighty, I'm back. I'm gonna go back and see. Thanks for letting me know about the buffering, Red. Sorry. Is that gonna keep my chat? Nope. Gosh darn it. Oh well. Oh. There. Okay. We are in the little town of Mount Auburn. Just left the town of Dublin. And we are headed towards, as soon as I turn around here, oh, there's a blue heron. There he is. I don't know if you can see him or her. Oh. Right there. Pretty little guy or gal. Okay. Before people start thinking I'm weird because I'm sitting behind the little local pizza place here looking at birds, I'm gonna start moving. We are headed towards the town of Cambridge City. And we're going to go by the Huddleston Farmhouse. The Huddleston Farmhouse was back when National Road was a toll road and people could charge for going over their land. This is the Huddleston Farmhouse here on the right. And the Huddlestons owned this section of land, and they would not only let people travel through, but they were what was called a toll house. And they would let people stay, spend the night, get something good to eat, like a real meal, because when you're on traveling, I mean, we think we have it rough eating fast food, but you really can't. During the pioneers, you really couldn't cook. I mean, you could sort of, but like you didn't have an oven and stuff like that. You just kind of had a fire. So the Huddlestons would let you stay in one of the first 2 floors of their home and have a roof over your head and sleep kind of by the fire and stuff, some warmth, and you could get dinner there or breakfast or both, or food, I guess I should say. Your horses could be bedded down in the stable, in the barn, and I believe you could also change out horses. So if your horses were kind of, tired and getting weary, you could trade them out, or maybe sell them and buy new ones. I don't know the particulars on that. But it was a rest stop, and it was the first rest stop, the first big rest stop, once you got into the state of Indiana from Ohio. A lot of this was Native American land, well, inhabited by Native American tribes. I don't mean to get political, but we had kind of already taken the land from them. This is the Vinton House on the right, the big red brick structure. That was a hotel back in the early years. Shoot, I can't show it to you, but there's actually a mural of the Lincoln funeral procession on the side of the Vinton House. Well, not the side of the Vinton. This side of the building at the end of the block that the Vinton House is on. And, excuse me, that is because the Lincoln funeral train stopped in Cambridge City, because one of Lincoln's close friends was Oliver P. Morton, who was a governor of Indiana, or the governor of Indiana at the time, or around that time, and he requested that the train stop, and I don't know if he was in Cambridge City at the time, if Governor Morton was in Cambridge City, or if he was in Indianapolis. I don't know. He was either in Indianapolis already, or was in Cambridge City and boarded the train and went to Indianapolis on the train. I'm not sure. But anyway, the Lincoln funeral train did stop momentarily, and allowed mourners to sort of get a little closer. The funeral train obviously went from Washington, D.C. all the way to Springfield, Illinois. And the route that it took is parallel to the route that we're on. There's rumors that there is a ghost train that appears at the end of April of every year. That's something I've never seen, and from what I've heard people describe it as, or what I have heard it described as, I haven't met anybody who has seen it, but what I've heard it described as pretty macabre, and I don't know if I want to see it. Basically, it sounds really creepy. And I know I said that I'm into creepy stuff, but I don't know. I don't know. If you want to know more about that, you can do some research on the Lincoln Ghost Train. The idea intrigues me, but I haven't really pursued any of that. It has been directly seen in the little town of Irvington, where we were earlier in this video, where I talked about H.H. Holmes, the first serial killer in America. But the railroad, or the track that it went along, is pretty much all along this same road, just a few miles. Well, at times, less than a block away from this road. So at the time, this road was kind of a dirt path, and but it was really well traveled. And hello, welcome back. We are in the town of Pershing. Yep, I'm back. Sorry, I lost connection, and there really wasn't anywhere to pull over back there, and everybody was going 60 miles an hour plus, so I didn't feel comfortable pulling over onto the side of the road. So I came to the first city and pulled over, or the first city that I had service in, and pulled over and restarted. That was the town of Pershing, or East Germantown. During World War II, they changed the name of the city from East Germantown to Pershing after one of the generals, after one of the United States generals, because they did not want to have with Germany. They didn't want people thinking that it was a town with people from Germany or German sympathizers during the war. So they changed it, and interestingly enough, you can actually send people mail there under either name, under East Germantown or under Pershing, and they will get it. Yeah, no, I'm good now. I'm safe. Thank you. I just wanted to explain that I knew that I had dropped off, but I didn't have a way to connect right back immediately. So, sorry for the interruption. It is really kind of pretty though, with the sun just hitting the edges of the trees. Unfortunately, a lot of the trees have already lost their leaves. We had some pretty major wind going through recently, today and a few weeks ago. We had 50, 60 mile an hour gusts, so a lot of the leaves were blown off then. One of the downfalls of this beautiful little road is there's often not internet connection out here or cell service. Kind of in the middle of nowhere at points. So, streaming road trips, sometimes difficult than others. I am going to make a list of places like Metamora and Antiochus,